Hello, I'm a BX and welcome back to the video. Today we're going to talk about glitches found at the edge of the world in Minecraft, like the one you just saw on screen a second ago, because I find these to be pretty fascinating things whenever they happen in Minecraft, and today we have a glitch of the edge of the world which happens because they prevented another glitch at the edge of the world, and I figured that's just so interesting, I kind of have to talk about and show it off in today's video, because although it means you can never get all the way out to, minus 100,000, like even on the Y425 thing, it does mean some pretty interesting things that I do want to talk about, and I did want to show off in today's video, so that's exactly what I'll be doing. Hopefully you all do enjoy this one. You can like the video if so, because it helps out the channel a lot and lets know you do like this sort of thing. Again, seeing how to get outside the edge of the world, as well as just seeing other weird glitches related to this, because you've got to bear in mind, boats in Minecraft, are rather interesting by themselves, because they allow you to get to different places than when you get on them. So, lots of things like beds also do this, where they're, the disembark location isn't the same way you get in. So, if I get in this boat right here, then I get out. As you can see, I got in at the back, and I got out at the front. This actually allows me, as you just saw, to get to minus 432, a coordinate which is otherwise unobtainable. There's an invisible wall just here, and you can get past it, because half the boat is, before the invisible wall, the other part of it's going just barely past it, and this means when the boat lets me out, it lets me go past the invisible wall. This is interesting by itself, but it's not that interesting, because one extra block that we previously already had anyway isn't that interesting. But yeah, we used to be able to use this at 432, before the invisible wall existed, at least before it existed over here, and this allowed you to get to minus 433, and then you could fly out and do whatever you wanted. So this is, in my opinion, this is the only thing I've seen that has evidence towards it. The reason why we have, this invisible wall now a block earlier than we used to. That's right, there's an entire block in Minecraft which is just missing. I mean, you couldn't break it before previously, but now you can't even get to it. The reason this exists in this way, I believe, is because of the boat glitch. So the reason why that's so interesting is because the way they've, fixed the boat glitch, and they're like, okay, well, we don't, we've clearly have to work out a way to stop people getting there. And as far as I can tell, the current implementation of boats, the one on the PC, just cannot be, cannot lead to anything, any other solution besides having to actually change the boat altogether. So yeah, that's kind of interesting by itself, the fact that they almost had to change the entire game just to make these boats work. But what I think is more interesting is the fact that to even then implement that, they've made some weird glitches like this one over here. So over here you can see, rather interestingly, a bunch of boats all existed on the same spots, and it means that, if you save boats over here, again, these are outside of the world right now, they're past the barrier, and some parts of the boat, like that over there and that over there, are actually outside of the world in general, and yeah, basically, so when you save the game, they try to save themselves there, and then they push themselves out a little bit later. It's a very weird thing, but if you want to do the exact glitch and don't want to confuse people when you open your world, all it takes is to save lots of boats on the same spot, which isn't normally possible, but is possible with the edge of the world. But how do you get out of the edge of the world? So there's a couple of ways. It probably works with horses and beds if you really try to too. But with the easiest way is just to use a boat like this to get in the boat at the last second, and then just like that, it goes slightly over minus 433, and then you can get outside the edge of your world, and you can swim around in again, you can swim around this little extra bit right here, which is pretty great and pretty interesting, right? However, there are some weird rules about how this is actually working, because the game doesn't actually believe you're there, it just lets you believe you're here. So as you can see, I'm outside the edge of the world, I'm at minus 430, what is this, 8 right now, and I can keep going till I hit minus 440, I think it's like an extra 10 blocks out. Oh, okay, yeah, it's 10 blocks out. Once you get to, minus 433, that's where, 443, sorry, that's when the game realizes that, nope, you're not meant to be there, and then it glitches you back in. But you might think like, oh, but in the meantime, then that means I can appear over here and I can do really interesting stuff, but you're not actually at minus 441. Again, this is outside the bounds of the world, this is an out-of-world glitch. Look at me, I'm outside the edge of the world, isn't this the craziest thing? But the truth is, this isn't actually what's going on right now. Even though you feel like you're out the edge of the world, you're not actually out there. And the reason for that is because, the proof of this, I should say, is because when you try to go past things which are already in the 432 slot, the one you glitch back to, weird glitchy things happen. So if I go over here, for instance, where these boats exist, you can see I'm actually pushing those boats while I do this. It's quite interesting, but, even though I feel like I exist over here, I actually exist over there, and you can see I can push boats from here, which is quite interesting, like the fact that you can push objects along. Again, I don't really exist here, I exist over there, and I'm just pushing the boats. It's quite interesting, the detachment between what you see and what the game is seeing, but this is boats again. This happened with the old boats too, actually, where you had weird glitches like this, and quite interesting to me is the fact that, did I just sprint over that? But yeah, quite interesting to me at least is the fact that if we've got lots of boats here already, it causes weird stuff to happen where you kind of just like glitch into them in a way you probably shouldn't. So yeah, there we go. This has now allowed us to get all these boats in the same spot, and they're technically all outside the edge of the world, so you can't actually sit in half these boats, and although the ones you can sit in and how to get back out there, it really isn't a thing that's meant to be going on. So yeah, some of the boats aren't sittable in, some of them let you go out to the edge of the world, some of them don't. It's just a weird mess because you are meant to have boats there, really, and when you do, the game isn't just sure what to do with it. So, okay, here you go, another one that just isn't letting you outside the edge as well. It's quite interesting stuff, and it's worth experimenting with, in my opinion, because if you do this just right, I'm going to try right now, you can actually float above the edge of the world. So again, I'm going to try and get this just perfect, but basically if you, if you land up on these blocks right here, sometimes it doesn't just, land you there, it also gives you, so this boat, by the way, it's gone outside the realm where I can actually touch it, so we'll try this again, shall we? We'll go a little bit before then, and then we'll get in the boat, and then we slide out. So, yeah, this is interesting, because now if we, actually get outfit, then we'll be standing in midair. Also, quite the opposite thing happened. I just pushed the boat out of the world. But because this last block that you stand in, because it doesn't really exist anymore, it means that if you do things just right, which I'm failing to a few times in a row right here, but you can actually end up standing on invisible blocks, because again, that's what happens when you get to the edge of the world. Weird things happen, and you stand on invisible blocks. So yeah, there we go. You can see this now, just like that. I'm floating on invisible blocks. You might think, no, Toy Cat, you're just using fly. Let me go into survival and let me prove this is really how this is. I'm now floating in survival above blocks. That's right. This glitch allows you to float in survival, which is really nuts stuff. But this isn't the end of it, because you can. This isn't just like a, oh yeah, boat's a pretty broken thing. It also works for anything else you can disembark from. I think, horses are an obvious one, but the crazy one to me that I really wanted to test out is, what if we tried this with minecarts? So this is a tricky one to balance, because minecarts can't just walk to the edge of the world, but I was fortunate enough to find an abandoned mine shaft where I had rail going all the way to the edge right here. So even though I can't get there, the minecart sort of can, and this means that if I pull one out, so let's grab a minecart and let's push it along my little powered rail right here, or let's just sit in this one. Well, let's break that first, and let's try this again. Okay, just like this. You can see how it stops at the very edge of the world, but now if I get outfit, I'm gonna, okay, let's try that one again, shall we? But if you get outfit at just the right moment and at the right angle, then you can actually end up in this theoretical edge of the world thing, again, floating in midair. There are all these blocks that shouldn't exist. I'm in this place that people can't get to, and it means that you can exist in a part of the world that doesn't really even exist. I don't know, I think it's wacky stuff, and it's something I figured you might want to know about if you want to do strange stuff. So, yeah, you can also use this to, make some weird minecart stuff happen. I'm going to try that right now. Again, when you've got too many powered rails going on, it just causes a lot of bouncing, but still, if you want to push things out to the edge of the world, you can really try your hardest, and you can almost get it to happen. But yeah, the invisible edge, the invisible wall at the edge of the world is something that exists, and it's something that really is meant to be 100% foolproof. But because everything in Minecraft, it's created to stop another glitch, but in a way that kind of leads it to having its own set of glitches. And here is how you do at least some of them. Have fun doing it with friends. I'd really love to see the multiplayer component of this. Again, I don't do much multiplayer for these glitch testing because it's a lot harder. But I'd really love to see, for instance, if the second player in your Minecraft game thinks you're out there, or if the second player sees you at the edge of the world and not. Because I imagine it's the second one. In fact, there's a lot of glitches where, two different players see different things, and this might be one of them. But anyway, for now, I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Like if you liked it, share if you really liked it, and subscribe if you're new around here. I make videos like this one every single day on my channel, and if you subscribe and want to see more glitches like this daily on your homepage, then you can do that. Also, if you are subscribed, make sure you hit the bell, because YouTube does not let you know about the videos unless you bell me and you see them notified every single time. So anyway, thank you very much for watching my video, because I guess I'll see you all next time. Bye!